Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Jay's Fifth Down Podcast. I'm your host, Jay Gay, of course, and today we're going to be talking about FSU and why nobody should sleep on the FSU Tigers. I think they're going to take college football by storm in 2023. So I'm going to give you guys my thoughts about them and what they got to do to continue to have that success, build off the success they had in 2022, where they had a 10-win season. So before we dive into that, guys, make sure you check us out here on YouTube and also every podcast platform, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We're there. Jay's Fit Down. Just search us up, check us out, leave a rating for us, and also leave your comments and thoughts here on the channel. We appreciate it. And please subscribe to the channel. We also appreciate that as we're trying to continue to build and move forward here, providing you guys with the great football content that we can give you. So please make sure you check us out there. And also check out my book, A Good Man in an Evil World. I wrote this book, so I'm an author and a podcaster. So make sure you guys check out this book here. You can go out on Amazon for the paperback version or the ebook version, whichever one you prefer. So make sure you guys check that out there. But yeah, so every year, there's always that one team, like it's every year in college football, that they just, they kind of blossom out of nowhere, right? Not out of nowhere, but they maybe they weren't as good the previous couple years, where they had a rough stretch, and then they just kind of they get better, and then they have a good season, maybe 10, 11 wins, and surprise everybody. You think about it, a couple years ago, LSU, right, with Joe Burrow and those guys down there. Nobody really thought they were gonna explode the way they did, and they took college football by storm. And they won a national championship that year. I mean, their offense was lethal and unstoppable. Pretty much, even Alabama couldn't beat them. So they were really good that year. You can say the same about a lot of different teams. Even Oh, well, yeah, I mean, for the most part, pretty much been the same top heavy teams last couple of years, so I can't really, you know, sneak one in there. But it's been years, some years probably since we've had that happen. But for the most part, it's been the same teams. But there's still you're gonna have your teams that slide in every year. Okay, Tennessee. I'll take Tennessee for example. They were in a running to be in the playoff for a long time until Hendon Hooker got hurt and last year, and it just kind of stuck everything up for them. But they were having a great year offensively. They were like one of the best offenses in the country. Hendon Hooker was one of the best quarterbacks in the country last year, and it was unfortunate to see him go down because their offense was lethal, and they definitely could have made they definitely were going to be in the playoff if not for those things, if not for the losses of Hendon Hooker and some of those other guys there, and so they just lost those games. But I definitely think that one team though that is definitely going to make the playoff this year, and who knows, maybe even win a game or two. The FSU Tigers. All right, now guys, hear me out. FSU had their first 10-win season last year since 2016. Okay, that was the last time they had a 10-win season. And now, and of course, some years back they were in national championship with Jameis Winston. They won that year as well, but 2014 I believe it was. But now FSU is back after some down years. They are back. They won 10 games last year. Beat Oklahoma in the Cheez It Bowl, I believe it was, and and they're continuing to just build and build and build, right? And I honestly think that this team has potential to make the college football playoff in the ACC and maybe win a game. I'm saying they're not going to go to the national championship. Probably not. I don't think they. I don't believe they have the talent to do that. But I think they can make the playoff. Definitely can make the playoff. They definitely have the talent to do that. You look at it. They're bringing back Jordan Travis, their top passing quarterback last year. Their top running back Trey Benson, and their leading receiver Johnny Wilson. Right. These are guys that they let the team have a great offense last year. They produced. They won 10 games. They beat LSU in a home opener. An opener, the season opener, I believe it was. So it was I really believe, and they're going to play LSU again this year in their season opener. But I really think that the Tigers can make some noise. Mike Norvell is a great coach. He's brought that hard work mentality to this team. And basically he's preaching that, hey, we're going to just continue to get better. It's mental toughness. We're going to be physical. We're going to do these things that we're just going to keep getting better day by day by day. And when you build your program like that, you're going to see the improvements. You're going to see the you're going to see the results of that, right? And I honestly think that with the talent they have, especially with the talent they've recruited as well, had a good recruiting class, and the transfer portal also helping them, bringing in Keon Coleman, leading receiver from Michigan State. He finished the year leading the team in receiving with 58 receptions, 798 yards, and 7 touchdowns for the Spartans last year. He's going to be huge to their offense. I really think there's multiple ways they can use him. He's a shifty guy. Great hands, and speed is there. So I honestly believe that he's going to be a huge help to that offense there. The defense, they're bringing in uh, Fentro Cypress, the cornerback from Virginia. So he's going to be coming in there as well, help out that secondary and that defense. They're also bringing in Jaheim Bell, tight end from South Carolina, right? So they have made moves in the transfer portal, bringing in some guys that obviously are buying into that culture. They believe that this team has potential to make some noise, and has the potential to, win games and make the college football playoff. And continue to build off of their success in 2022. I definitely think they can do it because the ACC is really getting weaker. Clemson, I don't think they're going to be what they were. But they've been. I mean, DJ Ugu, I can never pronounce this dude's name. DJ Ugu Daly, whatever his name is. He's not there anymore. He's left. So now Kate Klubnik is supposedly going to be the starter for Clemson. There, the other Tigers. There's three Tigers: LSU, Clemson, and FSU. It's like you know. How many more Tigers are we going to have in college football? But anyway, there's probably some more I'm probably not even thinking of. But anyway, that's besides the point. I think that the ACC is just it's not going to be as strong. I mean, Clemson is not what they once were. And I think FSU is going to have that top spot there in that conference. I mean, the only threat I could really see is Clemson, but at the same time, it's like they're not. I don't think they're going to continue to be that leading top dog in the ACC. I just don't think they are. I mean, UNC could make a little bit of noise, win some games here and there, but other than that, I think it's FSU's conference to lose. I think it's their conference. I think they are going to make the college football playoff, and just make noise. I mean, guys, it's sleep on FSU all you want, but I'm telling you, this team, this team is going to win 10 or 11 games next year. This coming year, they're going to make the college football playoff. And I think they're going to get a game in the college football playoff. I believe they can. I believe they have the talent to do that. Don't sleep on them. This is a team that they work hard. They're physical. They fight, and they're not going to give up. And they're talented. They got talented players on their team, and they've brought in a great recruiting class, guys that are trying that they believe they're buying into the culture, what Mike Norvell is preaching. Mike Norvell is a great coach, and he's a guy that he's going to want the best out of his players, and out of his off his team, and as well in his coaching staff, right? And they really believe down there that what they have is special, and and it's going to lead to big things for them. And I believe that as well. And when you have a coach like that who thinks that who is preaching that culture there and is trying to build that camaraderie there and build that identity for your team. Like, hey, you know what? We had a good season last year. We're going to continue to build off of that and increase that. And adding in great players in transfer portal in the recruiting class. We're going to make noise. And we're going to do what we have to do. Take a day by day approach. Just one day at a time. We're going to continue to get better and keep improving each and every day in practice. Just developing chemistry. I mean, you understand Jordan Travis. I want to give him a shout out to. He's a great quarterback. I think he's one of the more underrated quarterbacks in college football right now. He who knows? He could even be a Heisman sleeper. Who knows? I mean, like this kid is that good. He's a good quarterback. I mean, and he has the potential to be even better. So we'll see how that all goes for FSU. But I just want to tell you guys, that I really think that they can make a lot of noise this year. I think that they're going to surprise a lot of people because nobody's thinking FSU is going to, like I mean, yeah, they're good, but they're not going to, they're not college football playoff good. They're not a team that's going to blow you out the water. They're not on the likes of Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, LSU, right? Those teams that. But then again, like I mentioned earlier, with the Volunteers, for the couple years now, they were just they weren't doing that good. Then they brought in the transfer. They got in Hendon Hooker. He came in there, and they changed some things around, coaching staff wise. All those type of things. And then just the players getting better, and they came out and had a good season last year, and who had one of the top offenses in the entire country. So, and one of the best quarterbacks in the entire country, right? So, I see the same type of similar pattern here happening for FSU. It's very possible. As we all know, anything can happen in college football. That's why we love it. That's why it's awesome. Why some argue it's even better maybe than the NFL. So who knows? I mean, but it's going to be exciting. I definitely think it's going to be exciting. Because college football, anybody can take the jump. Of course, again, you have your top dog teams, your Georgias, your Alabamas, your Tennessees. Even maybe LSU. But I honestly think you can slide FSU in there with those teams. They're talented. They can compete. They can compete. I mean, you saw they took LSU toe to toe last season. I'm like, I mean, they're going to. This team is going to fight. They're going to play hard. They're going to get after you. They're physical. Like that. I'm just going to give FSU some love here on the podcast today. The Tigers, they're going to have a great 2023 season. I'm calling that right now. You guys heard it here first on Jay's Fit Down. They are going to take college football by storm. And who knows? Maybe Jordan Travis wins the Heisman. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. But it's gonna take. It's gonna be day by day. It's gonna take time. It's going to just take them all committing and buying into what Mike Norvell is preaching and into that culture and working hard. Everybody has to stay healthy, of course. But if all that happens, who knows? Maybe we're talking about when the AP when the playoff rankings come out. Maybe we're seeing FSU's name up there. And I think it's a real possibility. So definitely there. But like I said, guys, just yeah, I just want to hop on the pod today and talk about that because I really we're at the point now I believe where the playing field is getting a little bit wider. Like um, we all know again, who the baddest teams are in college football. But again, this is there's some openings, there's some slots for other teams to slide in here, right? I mean, we don't know how Alabama's going to be next year. But they that's my team. But to be honest, I'm a little concerned because they don't know their quarterback situation. We don't know what's going to happen there. I mean, just things like that. Tennessee also is Joe Milton. Can he be the guy to come in there and step up? And Hendon Hooker after he left to go to the NFL. Can Joe Milton come and be that guy for Tennessee? LSU as well. Can they take that next step? Can Jaden Daniels take that next step? So it's a lot of question marks going in there into the season. I mean, but Georgia's still sitting at number one at the top right there. They're at the top of the mountain coming off back-to-back national championships. Now they have some quarterback questions of their own, but I think even with the really weak schedule, though, because they have a really weak schedule, I think they're going to continue to do their successful things there. They're going to win almost all their games, and they're going, be in the playoff again. But who knows, man? Anything can happen. Anything can happen in college football. I'm here for it. I'm ready for the season to start. I'm excited. That's why I love college football. It's awesome. So hopefully my team can come back in into the playoffs and continue our dominance that we've had over college football for so long. But I, like I said, man, the tide has shifted, and now that wasn't intended, but the tide has shifted, and we might be seeing new faces emerge, and it is good for the game. I'll say it's good for the game. Though it's for ratings and things, it's good for the game. We want to see different teams in the mix, so we'll see what happens. But thank you guys for tuning in today's episode of Jay's Fit Down. Make sure again check us out here on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your favorite podcast. We're also there. So make sure you give us your comments, share your thoughts, in the comment section. What do you think? Do you think FSU is going to have a great season? Can they sit atop the ACC this year? Give me your thoughts there, and just make sure you guys just share and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time on Jay's with Down.